Miami Valley's most fantastic selection of beautiful American-made and Amish-built bedroom and dinette furniture, along with quality made-to-last sofas, best recliners, and accessories. Burns Furniture has free delivery in the Dayton-Springfield area and is open 9 to 5 Tuesday through Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. For quality furniture, it's worth a short drive in the country to Burns Furniture on Lake Road in Medway.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. Guess what? You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show. It's presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. I'm sure you see a Lee's nearby you as you ride in your car or you're at work and, go by there and have you something to eat. So Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken is a sponsor of the show. Phone number to call me is 937-457-9464. Again, 937-457-9464. You can hit me on Twitter also at KAB41 is my Twitter handle. Let's talk sports. Let's talk life. Let's talk it all. Hey, we're still in the midst of the coronavirus, even though we are doing a whole lot better here, in the Dayton area, in Ohio, and nationwide. Somewhere people are, starting, to take their masks off to some degree, in a little bit smaller groups. But let's continue to be aware of that. We want to have full stadiums. It was nice and refreshing to see Madison Square Garden last night, and where the Philadelphia 76ers play in Philadelphia, also at 50% capacity, not 100%, but it just, when you're watching live sports, even at the golf tournament yesterday, seeing fans out there follow, the pros around. That was pretty cool. Not full capacity, but it was something. But that's only because you get vaccinated. Get your vax. Get it done. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, whatever you have to do, let's make sure we do that. Let's take care of one another and make where we are a much better place. Black Lives Do Matter. It's not a slogan. It's right now, not later. It's now. We have got to do what we have to do. Each and every one of you, me, all of us can help stomp out the systematic racism. It has to go. It doesn't have no place in America, has no place in the world, no place at all. So let's continue to take care of each other, treat each other how you want us to be treated. Last week after I got off the show, I was trending that comedian, Paul Mooney passed away of a heart attack. He was one of the greats. He wrote for a lot of people. Most people are more familiar with him. This younger generation, this used to see him on a Dave Chappelle show. Dave Chappelle show. Let me get that out. Dave Chappelle show. He used to make cameo appearances on that. But he most famous for being one of the writers for the great comedian Richard Pryor and many, many other wrote for television shows. So rest in peace to Paul Mooney and his family and friends. Congratulations must go out. I'm sure you guys watched the golf tournament yesterday, the PGA Championship, one of the four majors on the PGA Tour, Pro Golfers Association Tour. Phil Mickelson, lefty. That's about the only thing me and his golf game have in common. We're both left-handed, even though I don't play left-handed. But Phil Mickelson, 50 years old, oldest major champion. He said, hey, I finally done something Tiger hasn't done. No, I'm just teasing. But, hey, congratulations to Phil Mickelson, winning the PGA Championship. And I was talking to my producer earlier before we got on the air, and he was asking me, is that such a big deal? What's so special about winning at 50? It is. He's the oldest, prior to Phil Mickelson breaking the record. If there was, it broke Jack Nicklaus' record. We all, being Ohio people, we all know about Jack Nicklaus and his greats. He won the Masters at age 46 back in 1986, and that was the standard for when Jack won it in 1986 at 46 years of age. Many people thought man, the Jack Nicklaus didn't have any more majors in him. I mean, he won one at 46, and that became the new gold standard for the last, the oldest you can win a major on tour. You can't, if Jack Nicklaus can only do it at 46, nobody else is going to do it at 47 or 48 or 49 years of age. And certainly by the age of 50, nobody's going to win a major. But Phil Mickelson proved them wrong yesterday by winning a major in your 50s. There's been other seniors. He's a senior now, Phil Mickelson. You're 50, you're a senior. I guess that makes me a senior also. I'm in my 50s. So when you're in your 50s, that just gave new life to other seniors when they in their 50s that they can actually win, not just on the PGA Tour, but win a major tournament on the PGA Tour. Because there's been other seniors that have won on the PGA Tour after the age of 50, but not majors. Well, Phil Mickelson just dispelled all that. And so congratulations to Phil Mickelson for winning a major at 50 years old. So, and he broke Jack Nicklaus's record by 4 years. So now Jack Nicklaus, that goes by the wayside. And so now the new gold standard is age 50. So I'm sure all the golf people will love that. And speaking of golf, I played in a tournament over the weekend at my club, and I was terrible. My only good thing about I didn't get last. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Me and my partner didn't get last, so I won't even. I just tell you, we were terrible, and we weren't last, and that's the good thing that happened to me in golf this weekend. But I'm gonna start practicing so I can get my golf game the way it should be. But right now, I can be had. Anybody want me going to take all money out of my pocket? You can come get it. 5-1. That's like a golf terminology for a bet. 5-1 means $5 plus one automatic press once you're down 2. So I would be losing about $15-$20 if you played me today. But I'm gonna start practicing, so I'll be trying to get that $15-$20 away from you. But it's all fun. My question of the day. Question of the day is, that was my little fake attempt at a drum roll, even though I'm not musical inclined at all. I always ask this question this time of the year. It's the NBA playoffs, and hold on, but it's NBA playoffs. So I always ask this question during the NBA playoffs. The question of the day is, who would be the young breakout NBA star of the 2021 playoffs? Now, my definition of young is 3 years and under. Once you hit your 4th year in professional sports, you're no longer, the young up and coming prodigy. You're ready for graduation. So you are, and pro careers don't last long. So 3 years is a good barometer of where you are. You're no longer a rookie. You're no longer a second-year guy. So your 3rd year, you have somewhat of an ideal, and certainly by your 4th year. So, and usually we identify the young stars when they're young, not when they're older or in the middle of their career, when they're young. So 3 years and under is a standard that I use. So who do you think would be the breakout star? If you want to, or you hit me on a text or call me. And the number is 937-457-9464. If you need some help, I'm going to give you some names that I have on my list. I got 4 names that I think that might be one of the young breakout stars. And some of the players of the past, when I asked this question, who were like, I didn't know, I didn't really know much about him until the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell, remember him at Utah? He's like, Donovan, what school did he go to? Louisville. Man, Donovan, he's a beast. But he made his name in the playoffs, and a young breakout star. Who's another one? Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics. Donovan Mitchell was from the Utah Jazz. But Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics, he's no longer a young guy. But when he was a young guy, he got, Boston to the Eastern Conference Finals. Came up, but they didn't make it to the NBA Finals. But they lost to the Toronto Raptors that year. And I was like, man, if the Philadelphia 76ers had drafted him instead of Markelle Fultz, we had a chance, but we didn't. But Jason Tatum has went on to become an all-star. Him and Donovan Mitchell are both all-stars. And then last year we was watching the playoffs, DeJuan Murray from Denver. He's hurt this year, but she's like, man, who is this guy? Wow. So I said that to say, in the NBA, more so than any other professional sport, whether that be football, baseball, what have you, but at the 3, and even hockey, those 4 major sports, Basketball is the one that leaves the biggest image in your professional basketball, even college to that degree, leaves the biggest image in your mind of how you do in the postseason. That's where you make your name. That's where you make your bones, not during the regular season. Otherwise, you get labeled like, what about you? What did you do in the postseason? I mean, and everybody has to answer that question. So it's not like, sometimes some of my buddies or younger friends, they like, man, Kiwi, you just too old school. You don't want to get a young catch no credit. It's not that. I just know what the bar is, and I will refuse to lower the bar. And everybody has to jump over the bar. If you're saying you can high jump 6 foot, 6'5", they're not going to lower it to 6 foot and call it 6'5". This is the bar for greatness. And everybody has to jump over it. Otherwise, you're not great. You're just a guy. And you look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, we can go, how many scoring titles did he have? But everybody was like, yeah, but they're going to make the playoffs and they ain't going to do nothing. Yeah, Michael, he had 63 points against the Boston Celtics. Yeah, they lost. You have to win and you have to have success. And Michael said, I'm more than that. And he did have postseason success because he was always in the regular season, but then come playoffs, the Bulls were nowhere to be found. It was one and done, grand opening, grand closing. But that's when you think of Michael Jordan, he has many, many highlights, but the majority of your highlights you think of him are in the postseason. Magic Johnson, Showtime Lakers. Oh, that was great during the regular season, but the playoffs a little different. But they were still Showtime, and that's why we still talk about the Showtime Lakers. All the past NBA champions, you always think about the individuals that had individual success in the postseason. I mean, you talk about some of the greatest shooters of all time. That is one of the reasons why Ray Allen's name will always be mentioned, because you can still see him hitting that shot against the San Antonio Spurs in Game 6 for the Miami Heat. He makes it. They go to Game 7. He misses it. San Antonio are NBA champions. Ray Allen hits the shot. Big shot Robert Horry. People he hardly even started the majority of his NBA career. He was the 6th and 7th and 8th man off the bench. But when you think of big shots, his name is always one of the ones get mentioned because Robert Horry hit big shots everywhere he went, whether it was with the Lakers, whether it was with the San Antonio Spurs or the Houston Rockets. That's what stands out. So that's one of the reasons why I ask this question every year. These young guys, who's going to step out and be one of the breakout stars of the NBA, to somebody we're going to follow for the next 5 to 10, 15 years possibly and go on. LeBron James, he heard that. He's just a hot shot guy, fresh out of high school. But, his team was getting to the playoffs, and he even got to the NBA Finals early in his career. They didn't win, but he got there. And we're like, man, LeBron's going to be good, man. He's better than we. But we didn't care about the regular season. It's what he did in the postseason. And now you can just see postseason after postseason, LeBron James is in there making shots, and you just, wow, when you saw him at an early age. So which one of these young guys will be that guy? Last year, I said Juwan Murray, but also Luka Doncic. Remember that name from last year? Dallas Mavericks. We was like, he might be the next Larry Bird. This shot that he hit. This was Clippers, I think, against Clippers last year. But he's like, man, this boy is really, really good. And we've been watching him all through the regular season. And then the playoffs started a couple of days ago. Who came up big again? Luka. That's the beauty of watching the NBA playoffs. So I have, 4 names. Justin, I'm going to ask you to chime in if you don't mind. I got 4 names. Tell me what you think about each one of them. I'm going to give you the 4, then you can go back and analyze them. For the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, what do you think about him? Phoenix has 2 guys, Devin Booker, had his first playoff game, and DeAndre Ayton, and then Memphis, Ja Morant. So those are just 4 names, and maybe a few may want to add a couple other names or whatnot. So what do you think of those 4?
I like all 4 of those. In fact, I don't know how you could argue against any of them. Devin Booker, I forgot he's been in the league for a while. I mean, he's been in the league for a minute. It's not like he's like new to the league, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, he's borderline almost. But
no. So
he's a young star still.
I forget when they said that was his debut playoff game yesterday. I'm like, holy smokes, it was, and that was one heck of a performance. And the guy that I actually thought I was excited for to have a breakout playoff, performance. I thought Julius Randle was going to ball out yesterday.
I wanted to put him on my list, but he's too old.
Well, not just
for my list.
Not just that, but he did not perform well yesterday to the point where I would put him on even if he was younger. But is he that old?
He was at the Lakers for 2 or 3 years, and this is his second year.
How long Booker
in New York? I think Booker is going on his third year. He's in the end of his third year.
See, the NBA, we always say Major League Baseball, when you draft these guys, that you're drafting them for 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Yeah, make me double check real quick.
But the NBA, these guys, like, they've been in the league for a while, but it's like it takes 4 to 5 years. You always say for the NFL, you need quarterbacks, you need 3 to 4 years before you have a true opinion of them. Even though the way we perceive quarterbacks is, I mean, we're going to judge Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields right away, whether they deserve to be treated just like every other quarterback.
In about 3 weeks or the first month of the season. Oh, he's a bust. He's terrible. He's a superstar.
2 interceptions in week 1. Urban drafted a bust. I mean, that's what we're going to do. That's just how we do it. But with the NBA, it's like the teams get in these rough spots because they draft these guys. They get 4 years to develop them, and then if they don't develop in that 4 years, they move on from the contract, and then all of a sudden they develop elsewhere. And it's like the Knicks are benefiting from the Lakers taking the bad years. The Lakers had the bad years of Julius Randle. The Knicks are benefiting from a seasoned veteran who's been in the league for a few. But I got away from what we were talking about. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Trae Young's moment in the playoffs, that was his "I'm here" moment yesterday. I had Reggie Miller feels all over it in the Garden, game-winning shot, looking over at Spike Lee and doing the, putting his finger over his mouth. Reggie Miller did the, wrapping his neck,
right.
But Trae Young told him to hush. So I thought that was awesome. Good for Trae Young. Trae Young's not like, hey, I'm young, I got to respect everyone around me. Not that he was disrespecting Spike Lee, but that was a moment. The play you talk about having a breakout performance, but he had that breakout performance with the moment, the game-winning shot, telling Spike Lee to sit down and be quiet.
That's iconic.
If Trae Young continues to build on his legacy, that's going to be one of those moments, just like with Reggie, where we look back and that's always going to be the clip that's aired. But
hold on, I had to cut you off real quick.
Good.
I made a big mistake. Devin Booker's on his 6th year, not 3rd year, 6th. But it's his first. It took him that long to get into the playoffs, so. I'm gonna leave him in the young guys. I'm gonna leave him in. He's gonna be, you're an exception to the rule
because
it's his first playoff game, so he's still.
Yeah, and that's why. And Randall, I think, has played in the playoffs.
He's only 24.
Yes,
in 4 years of college, he would still be,
But see,
even 3 years of
these
college.
guys are going to 1 year of college, coming out, and then they've been around for 3 or 4 years, and we think their career is almost over, but they're only 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, he's 24 years old, the first playoff game.
But no, the 4 I have are the same exact 4 you had. Jason Tatum, of course. The performance he had in the play-in tournament to even get Boston to this point. John Morant, of course, what a performance he had the other night, going one-on-one basically against Steph Curry, and then Devin Booker, Trae Young. So and I have
Ayton on there, DeAndre Ayton, the big center for Phoenix.
He was the
first pick of the draft, and I'm like, who was this guy? When he was drafted, I didn't even never heard of him. But now, wow,
he was the best big on the floor. I thought Anthony Davis disappeared big time yesterday. I don't know what was going on with that. I mean, I don't know. It's almost like he was afraid to go in the paint. It's like he's afraid to get hurt. And if the Lakers are going to play afraid to get hurt, they're going to get knocked out of this first round. Because if Anthony Davis isn't aggressive, the Lakers don't have a shot. And it almost looked like he was terrified to go into the paint yesterday, and that's what I found interesting. So.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I know Anthony Davis is going to hit. Thank God they only get 2 days, a day off before they play again tomorrow. Otherwise, if he had 2 and 3 days off in between games, that would be mentally taxing on him to hear all this criticism he's gotten. But I think it's deserved. And one of my friends, we talk sports all the time, and I think people forget about Anthony Davis. He was a point guard, and then over the summer, when he grew something like 6 or 7 inches when he was in high school, and that's why he has such great ball handling skills, because he was a guard until he grew into a center's body. So he had a growth spurt. So I said that at times he's in a center's body, but he has a guard mentality. And instead of man, you know you're a big guy. Go in there and play big. And he has to be reminded that he is a big guy and he's supposed to get physical and feeling it. Sometimes you got to, quote unquote, piss him off to get him, oh, I am big. And then he kind of turns to the Incredible Hulk. And other times he just walk around as David Banner, just a mild-mannered guy. And like, dude, we need to see that Hulk in you come out. And if the Hulk doesn't show up, the Lakers are done. You know, it's hard enough to go back to back. We've been spoiled, you know, in the last 20 years of seeing back-to-backs. But it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. So the Lakers are coming into playoffs as a number 7 seed. And you don't pick 7 seeds to win the championships at any time. Forget a back-to-back.
They were healthy. They're a 1 seed. That's the thing. That's why, you know, and by the way, with load management in the NBA, I hate when we talk about seeds in the playoffs. No, you bring up a good point, but like with the load management now, and the Lakers are to 7 because of injuries, but like you have so many players taking it off. I mean, I've heard players say, you know, LeBron and others say, seeding doesn't matter to us. We're not afraid of anybody. Well, that's the wrong message to send to fans, because when you say that seeding doesn't matter, you're taking away the urgency of the regular season. So if fans aren't tuning in to watch anything because you're basically saying, well, we don't care where we finish. You know, we're not afraid. We'll play anybody that's in front of us. I know you're trying to, you know, you're trying not to hype it up too much, but like you should want the 1 seed. Back then, getting the 1 seed that drove a lot of teams.
Did we talk about tanking less people? Yeah. They was tanking. They didn't want to get a different seed.
So
like
too many stars are saying,
Clippers tanked so that they could lose and instead of being a number 2 seed and had to face the Lakers, they'd rather be a number 4 seed and play Dallas. That didn't really work. It's not working
Luka
out too good.
Might lead them out of the playoff. Right. So there's that. But unreal.
So, but that's, you know, but that's what the NBA playoffs, and people who love the NBA and people that are just casual watchers of the NBA, I understand why you're a casual watcher. So it's like people, the reason why NFL ratings are so good and people love NFL football, it's only 16 games or 17 now. You have to, it's once a week. You must watch these games and watch your team. And so you guys are playing harder. In a normal NBA season, it's 82 games plus another 16 wins to win the championship. It's hard. I know you said these guys paying a lot of money. It's too many games, first off. So this year they only played 72. It was more of a sense of urgency, because you got all these 7-game playoff series, you know, and the playoffs, we're not going to have an NBA champion until the end of June. You know,
July now. It's like if it's a 7-game series, it'll be mid-July.
It may be July.
They pushed it back. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is way too long. You know, imagine the NFL playoffs starting the first week of January, and we're not going to know who's the Super Bowl champion till March. That's a long. See, that's too long.
But why is it back in the 90s and even before the 90s? The 90s is just what I remember, my first taste of basketball in the 90s with MJ's Bulls and everything. But like they had the urgency to play. You know, MJ, you had to literally tie him up and keep him off the floor to keep him off the floor. Kobe Bryant, Vanessa Bryant, his wife, spoke at the Hall of Fame. My favorite part about that emotional, you know, tribute that she made to her husband was the fact that she would get so mad at him because he would continue to go play on bum ankles and bum knees. And she goes, you just need to take a month off so that you're free. And he goes, no, when I grew up, we didn't have money. And yet my dad would pay good money for us to watch Michael Jordan play. Yeah. And we never missed a game of his or he never missed a game that we paid tickets to go see. And he goes, what about all those guys, the families that don't have money, that spend money to come watch me play? And I'm taking an off night because my ankle's a little sore. He said, no, I got to play through that. So when I hear that, I'm like, I wish the players today are just resting because they're tired, not because they're sore, not because they're beat up or hurt. It's just because they're tired. They're working. Keith, can you imagine when you were working out contracts during your day at the NFL and say, all right, listen, Bill Parcells, I'll sign this contract with you guys, but I'm not practicing on Mondays. I'm not going to put pads on Wednesdays, and I'll decide what time I show up on game days. Imagine thinking that you could do that and it'd be okay. Apparently it's okay in the NBA today.
I can imagine thinking it, but then that you won't be playing here. Sure, you can. How about no days of practice? How about no paydays with that? No checks. Here, have it your way. that would happen. But people forget Michael Jordan had something, and one of the reasons why he's the greatest, in my opinion, this is my sole opinion, not unanimous.
It's wrong, but it's okay. I'm just joking.
He had the love of the game clause in his contract. People say, what is the love of the game clause? That meant that he could play basketball anytime, anywhere, and if he got hurt, the Chicago Bulls would be responsible of paying him his contract. Whereas most contracts, even here we are in the 21st century, if you get hurt, working out and it's not a not an organized team activity, they don't have to pay you.
Like when Tom Brady went skydiving a few years ago,
right.
Everyone said the Patriots organization was furious when they found out about it because it was breaking news. I think he went skydiving or whatever, and everyone was like, "What in the heck is he doing?" But that's to your point right there, because if something happened to him,
but that may be a clause. Hey, man, you can't skydive. And I'm serious. That would be one of what's the other one? Adventure sport that people do. Bungee jumping. You couldn't bungee jump under NFL contracts and stuff like that. I mean, that would be in an extreme sport category you're not allowed to do. But if I was, for the biggest thing when I was playing was basketball. If you was playing basketball and you twisted an ankle or you blew your knee out, oh man, you sure you want to be out there on the basketball court? So when I used to play basketball in off season, I would only play with other athletes or other people who I truly knew, somebody not out there to try to hurt me, trying to make a name for themselves. Like, man, I'm just out here for the workout. I'm not out here trying to get no contract or trying to get a scholarship or anything like that. And people sometimes, when professional athletes play against non-professional athletes, people take chances,
that's why
take shots at you.
That's why pro sports love golf.
Yes.
They love golf taking you guys' time because they're like, Keith, you don't need to be playing pickup basketball at the Y.
Go clubs up. Right, exactly.
Go send that golf cart and just chase your ball down for a little bit.
They don't mind that at all. Not at all. But anything other than physical, it could be an issue. But that's what frustrates the average basketball fan. They don't see that love that what we're talking about. But we're going to get back to talking about more of the NBA playoffs because they are worth watching. I hope your team is up 1-0. If not, they're 0-1. That's not the end of the series. Got time. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You're still running your business on QuickBooks? QuickBooks? More like quicksand. The bigger your company grows, the faster you sync with outdated software that just can't keep up. You don't have time to spend dealing with manual processes, multiple systems, delays, and scrambling to get the numbers you need. It's time to get on solid ground. NetSuite by Oracle, the scalable solution to run all of your key back office operations, no matter how big your company grows. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need to grow all in one place. NetSuite helps you automate your key business processes and close your books in a fraction of the time. Think days, not weeks. In fact, 93% of surveyed organizations increased their visibility and control of their business since making the switch from QuickBooks to NetSuite. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program only for those ready to graduate from QuickBooks. Head to netsuite.com/radar. That's special financing for you graduates at netsuite.com/radar.
O'Reilly.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Roosevelt Chapman, the all-time leading scorer of the Dayton Flyers men's basketball. I'm a proud Daytonian, and I've got an important message today for men, especially you gents over 40. As a professional athlete, I focus on my numbers every day. How many points, how many rebounds, how many assists. Now I focus on my most important stats: blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and PSA levels. In the end, those are the numbers that really count. So if you don't know your numbers, now is the time. See your doctor regularly to stay on top of your game, because no matter your age, every day and every number counts.
This message is brought to you by Molina Healthcare and Community Health Centers of Greater Dayton. If you do not have a primary health provider, call Community Health Centers of Greater Dayton at 937-461-6869 or visit communityhealthdayton.org.
There's been a lot of talk about the chicken sandwich wars lately, but only Lee's Chicken Sandwich is made famous. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, homestyle happens here with our chicken sandwich combo for only $5.99. You'll get a fresh, never frozen chicken breast in your choice of famous recipe or spicy, topped with chipotle ranch and pickles on a brioche bun, all served with a regular side and drink. Get a taste of fame with our chicken sandwich combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying. That's why Super Beta Prostate is the #1 prostate supplement recommended by urologists. You can try a full 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. No strings attached, and no commitments to buy. This is a 30-day supply, absolutely free. Call 1-800-482-7181. Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now. Call 1-800-482-7181. Don't miss out on this unprecedented free offer. 1-800-482-7181. 1-800-482-7181.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Friends, if you're in a job you can't stand or worried your unemployment benefits will be ending, you need to go to mycomputercareer.edu and fill out the free career evaluation form. I've personally spoken to them, and apparently employers are lining up to hire their graduates. In as little as 4 months, you could start your career in the growing cybersecurity and networking fields. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. Tell them Max sent you.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
It's Mattress Firm's best Memorial Day sale ever. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464 is the number to call. Before the break, we were talking about the NBA playoffs, and we're going to get back to that. But during the break, me and my producer was talking about some of the things that's going to happen later on in the fall for me this year. Well, last year, 2020, I got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. I haven't said a whole bunch about that since that. And as we get on later on, a little closer to the actual induction ceremony, I'll speak a little bit more about it. I'm over the hill thrilled that I'm part of the Hall of Fame and being a Hall of Famer. That's just, who would have thought growing up that would be something that would happen for me, someday. But I don't want to get too much into that, but only just to share this with you. They have the banquet, the induction ceremony is in New York in December. And this past December 2020, it was postponed until 2021. And that's where the big dinner and everything is, I think it's used at the New York Marriott Marquis Hotel right there in Times Square. But I just got an email last week telling me we're going to change. We're not going to be in New York this year. We're going west. And I was like, we're going west. And I kept on reading. And so it's going to be in Las Vegas. So my wife and I and the kids, even though my kids are grown, but they're still going to be there. We're going to be in Las Vegas in December to get inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. So that's something that's going to happen in December. But in October, since the NFL schedule came out, and they got a couple games listed in your favorite team. I was fortunate to play for 4 teams. I played for the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets. And so one of my former teams will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, England. So they asked me to come over to London and watch the game. So I'll be going to London in October, right around my birthday time. So I'm going to go to London, my wife and I, and go over there and watch the football game and play some golf as well. I'll put some of that on my social media pretty soon. So I'm going to play about 3 golf courses over in England. I've golfed internationally, just never in Europe. I've been to Europe a few times, but I've never played golf over there until this October. So I'm going to play some golf in Europe. I was talking about my golf game earlier. I better have a different golf game by the time I get there. It's going to be cold and windy and breezy. So I said when the wind blows, swing slow. So hopefully I can do that. So I'm going to play some golf. So that's a little bit that's going on with me later on this year. But in the meantime, we're hitting there talking about the NBA playoffs. And I know it's frustrating for you basketball fans, and I am one of them. And just for disclosure, before the playoffs start, if I watch from beginning to end an NBA playoff game, maybe 3 games from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, it just can't hold my attention. Because I'm like, and that's usually around a holiday, Christmas, let's watch some NBA playoffs. Let's do that. Then maybe another couple of selected times throughout the year, you watch some playoff games. But the NBA playoffs, it's so much better, to watch them now, because the guys play so much harder, and you're like, why? It's hard to watch a game during the regular season because they just don't bring that kind of same intensity to the game that they do now. You look at some of the scores. That Atlanta game and the Knicks, oh man, that went down to the wire. They was actually playing hard-nosed defense. My 76ers, we was letting Washington think they could beat us for a while, and then we started playing and got down and dirty and started playing some defense. What I'm saying is I want to see you play both ends of the court like it means something. And it does in the playoffs, but in the regular season, it means something too. People pay good money to come out there and watch you play. They want to be rewarded. And it's not quite night and day difference in the NBA between playoff basketball and regular season basketball, but it's a big gray area. So for the next couple of weeks, I know I'm going to be up late watching these games, and because they're going to be reason to stay up late, to watch them and to cheer. But I think what we as fans have to demand that these players and the commissioner, hey, let's do something about it, man. Come on, guys. It's give and take. We want to cheer for you. We love you. Give us something to fall deeper in love with you by giving us that effort each and every night. I get it. Sometimes in the middle of January, your jump shot isn't working and your team is down by 15 and you're going to put that one-ditch effort to try to get it back together, and it's just not your night. I understand off nights and you just got blew out tonight. Okay, that would be the exception. But don't let that happen consistently. One thing you can't hide is effort. When a guy is giving you all he got. And I had a coach tell me that one time. He said, all I want is all you got. I was like, simple, but it's so true. All they want is all you got. And you expect that in your daily life when you go to your favorite restaurant or your favorite store or whatever. All you want out of that person that's serving you is the best effort. And so why not, as an athlete, the people coming to watch you play, give them all you got. Otherwise, don't go out there. If you're hurt, you're hurt. If you're injured, you're injured. But a lot of players do not know the difference between pain and injury. I was taught at a young age, you could play with pain, you can't play if you're injured. And a lot of players do not understand that, especially in the NBA. Especially NBA. I was like, when I was with the Eagles one time, he's sitting around, signifying, talking trash and stuff to the basketball players. I told Charles Barkley, I said, man, you guys are soft. How are you going to sprain an ankle on Friday night and then you're questionable come Sunday? Then Sunday you're able to run full speed and they think, no, we just tough. I said, no, y'all not tougher. You don't really have a sprained ankle. You just twisted your ankle. You had a little ding, but it ain't a sprain. A sprained ankle, you're not coming back in 48 hours. That's going to take some time. So so we had an injured player, it's like, man, your ankle sprained. It was really sprained. It was like what LeBron James had when he had to miss some weeks, this past season. That was a real injury. It's like y'all crying foul about stuff is not, really, you're not that hurt. But you have to, get over that. And so the NBA, I know I'm getting on you a little bit, and I have to, because what we just saw these first games of the opening round of the playoffs, as a fan, it's a love-hate. That's what I love about the NBA. Why can't I see this? You hate that you don't see it enough, and you should see it enough. And it's nobody's, but if we're not demanding it, that's what you're going to continue to get, like tonight's game, the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. the game one went down. Whoever had the ball last, that's and Milwaukee had it last, and they made a big shot. I'm interested to see the game two between Portland and Denver. If they're gonna, if Denver's gonna, bounce back, and because it's hard to lose, a game on your home court, but as a visiting team, all you really want to do is split. And if you happen to sweep them on the road, that the momentum of that series just, switches over quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, and some of these sayings you're going to hear over the next couple of weeks, the series doesn't start until the home team loses. And that home team has lost a few times so far in these playoffs, but we have a long way to go. From the NBA champion. You don't start to, crown guys after one game or make them superstars after one game. You just don't do that. So we'll see. We'll see how this all, works out and comes to a head. Last week on the show, I asked people who they have to win it all. And the general consensus was the Lakers. And I was in the minority opinion on that, because I have the 76ers. Why do I have the 76ers? Because I'm talking with my heart instead of my head, and hopefully my head follows my heart and get it done this year. I'm a diehard Philadelphia 76er fan. Growing up here in Ohio, I didn't have a basketball team. There wasn't the Cavaliers because they didn't really have much, and I was a Dr. J fan. I loved him, what little bit I saw him when he was in the ABA, we followed his stats in the newspapers and magazines. And then when he signed with my Philadelphia 76ers in 1976, how apropos, I've been a diehard 76er fan. So, I'm 13 years old. I finally got an NBA team that I can live and, die with. And so that's the 76ers. So we only got one championship in that time in 1983. But to me, every year I'm open for optimism. This is going to be our year, and so this is year 2021. This is going to be our year, and I'm a real fan. I went through the lean times where I couldn't name three guys on the team. Back to where we are now. So that's who I have, and I'm not going to change. And no matter how these playoffs ends up. Hopefully it ends up with the Sixers winning the championship. But this time next year, I'm still going to be a Sixer fan. I'm one of those fans. You got me for life. It's hard. It's hard for me to change teams. So much. I haven't. All the teams that once I chose my team, I'm a keeper. So my basketball team is the Philadelphia 76ers. My baseball team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I know it's been last year we celebrated 40 years since our last championship. No, it's been 2 years since our 40 years, 1979 World Series championship. Now, I'm hoping that the drought ends at 42. Maybe this is our year. It's not over yet. It doesn't look good right now. I don't even know what place we're in. I know where we're not. We're not in first place, but I think the Pirates can get it done. We're gonna go on a tear. We're gonna win 30 out of 35. I don't know when, but it can happen. I know Mark Slimmer is probably laughing at me right now. It could happen. So that's my baseball team. My football team growing up as a kid was the Cleveland Browns. Die-hard Cleveland Brown fan until the Philadelphia Eagles started signing checks and sending them to me. Then I had to give up my allegiance to the Browns. So everybody can understand that. And my college team has always been the Ohio State Buckeyes. Always. So those are my team. And hopefully, and being here in Ohio, I have run across my fair share of Cleveland Brown fans. And that's the only team I've ever cheered for. I haven't met as many Cincinnati Bengals fans that have been with the Bengals from day one. I know a few. My wife is a Bengal fan. Yeah, really, she's a Bengal fan. So she's, through thick and thin, and she probably can't name 3 or 4 or 5 Bengals, but she cheers for the uniform and she cheers for the team. And that's good. So, like I said, when we go out, she's going to be with me. And my young daughter, also do have a minor child. She's going to probably be out in Vegas with us too, celebrating the Hall of Fame, ceremony. So, That'd be good. I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to bring up the Hall of Fame too much more. Please keep you up there tooting your own horn. Well, I'm just excited that it looks like it's finally going to happen. As far as the actual the dinner and the ceremony, itself, because of. That's another reason why you could call me selfish if you want. I want us to, get behind this COVID, virus so we can come back to getting, close to, if not normal or close to normal, we can get everyone back together, again, and show love for one another, for each and every one, fellow man. But on a programming note, I will be back on Wednesday of this week. So I will be back to talk more sports, to talk more NBA playoffs. So I have 2 shows this week. So not just today, I'll be back on Wednesday at noon. And we're going to cover a couple other subjects. I got some more things to put on the table for you. But in the meantime, take care of your fellow man. Do some random acts of kindness. Just be nice for no reason at all. And it'll come back to you tenfold. I guarantee you that. You've been listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. See you next time.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton.